Scientology believes in kindness, understanding, and better human relations. And that this is true is evident in the successes which have carried Scientology forward for more than half a century into the fastest-growing religion on the planet. So there is far more truth in it than strangeness, and people who are told about it should not be hit with strangeness out of an effort to startle or impress. So persons who have been given false or strange data should not feel guilty because they have formed an opinion, since they were given no real data with which to form a valid idea of Scientology, or what the other person was really doing. Of course, it may be presumptuous to assume that either party any longer cares about the other. The wounds may have been so cruel, and the gulf stretched so unfathomably, that the former relationship has subsided to a dull ache, if thought about at all. Even a forever dismissal may have ensued. But if there is any hope left, or possibility of pain, why then Scientology is genuinely interested in repairing the relationship and effecting any possible reconciliation should that be thought desirable by the parties concerned. Scientology pastors can always be approached or contacted. Scientologists do not live cloistered and monkish lives. Scientology is a subject of life and society, not a remote monastery high in some forlorn hill. The vast number of hours spent in any given day over the world by the ministers of Scientology in bringing people back to participation in the world may well be greater than that spent by any other group. Ministers can be found not only in our churches, but out in the world improving conditions, working with ministers of other faiths, gaining support for spiritual values in society. Through their training, they're able to offer assistance in many capacities, from reuniting families and mending relationships, to teaching underprivileged children to read, bringing help and comfort to victims of natural disasters, or even on the very battle lines of war zones of the world. They can be approached. That is why they are there, and they are willing and able to help. A considerable body of technology exists simply to effect the repair of such estrangements, and it is in use. Although, due to misinformation, you might not immediately credit it, your interests are our interests. If we can bring about a reconciliation that is to the best interests of both parties, according to their own judgment, we work very hard at it. It is not in your interests or our interests to promote or continue conflicts. Scientology is often mistaken by the poorly informed for a youth religion. We know this because parents startle us by asking if their child gets enough rest, good food, if he has changed his name. Scientology memberships and staff range in age from 16 to 80, and there is not even a majority of the young. Scientologists work and sleep much like anyone else. True, they live interested lives, but so do artists and executives and other dedicated people. True, they often study or work after supper, but it is quite certain they get enough sleep, and it is sometimes suggested that they do so by some executive or chaplain if watching late TV seems to be making them hollow-eyed. They do not change their names. Of course, lady Scientologists do when they get married, but that is routine in these societies. People who are not Scientologists probably change their names more often, as any courthouse record shows. Now and then, some nutritionist or doctor advocates a Scientologist goes on a diet, but that is no more nor less than the rest of the country does. Scientologists are not separated from society in any fashion or form. They see more people in the society than most of today's TV or computer-anchored families. And as to writing their parents, when a chaplain finds some younger staff member of a Scientology organization is creating concern by not writing his parents, there is a whole handling arranged, which may include something the staff member was never taught in school or life, how to write a letter or talk to his parents. Where Scientology is concerned, such strange fears are groundless. Scientology is of the society at large, not some reclusive haven for the withdrawn. As a matter of fact, most Scientologists live at home quite happily. Possibly misinformation given some people from various sources has caused them to confuse Scientology with something else. Such confusions are easily cleared up, and recognizing that as a new religion, people can be uninformed and in mystery as to what it is, the Church has gone to great lengths to make information about the religion widely available, providing hundreds of thousands of Scientology books to public libraries, and establishing an extensive information center on the Internet. You might be surprised to what degree the interests of parents in a younger Scientologist become the interest of Scientology organizations. People are important to Scientology. Because you live and walk upon the earth, you are important to us. In an age where 19th century psychology and psychiatry fought to degrade man to a decadent animal, in an aftermath of theirs and other Nazi attacks upon the basic decency of man, in a time of bloody wars and civil violence, the Scientologist has resurrected faith in the dignity and importance of man. It is a long uphill road, of course. From the earliest days, Scientologists have led the battle for human rights, bringing reforms to restrict or ban inhuman psychiatric treatments, such as electroshock, lobotomy, and forced drugging, and have gained the passage of international resolutions to protect the rights of mental patients. Realizing in Scientology they were facing their worst enemy, psychiatrists ruthlessly attempted to destroy it, but to no avail.